that button. Yeah, yeah. Wonder if it's working. I can't tell myself. And it didn't say it did it again. God damn it. I changed everything and it fucking son of a bitch. Son of a biscuit eater. Oh, but it worked on Twitch this time. That's nice. That's chill. Just have to go. God damn, you gotta love yourself some music. Welcome back to another episode of the Best Worst Show on the internet. I'll be your host today. My name's Manuel Chavez III, or the Turd, depending on how you know me. And this is, of course, the Griftcast IRL, where we get on the internet and we grift money from you because that's what this is all about. Right? Anyways, so now that we got all that crap put together, as always, the intro song, that's some Flaming Osis. Yeah, on YouTube. One of my favorites. And that's one of our original intros. Don't ask me how it's all working now. I don't know. The Lord above sometimes smiles on ye, upon thee. And you just have to go with it. Anyways, so in reality, though, I think a lot of people would probably have to agree that I've been away for a little bit, but that's okay. I've been taking care of business. You know, there was some friends that needed some sort of helping, maybe some tough love, but at the same time, there's definitely strange things afoot at the Circle K, as one would say. Right? That's what I would say. Yeah, shit's fucking weird, bro. When people that you've known for 20 years, after like 10 years pop back up and weird people are dying and, you know, the same suicide troller people are all involved and it's all put together. Yeah, you know, you're going to go investigate that and try to figure out what the fuck is going on over there. And obviously realize that, you know what? It's probably crazier than you could probably think. Even so, I mean, all stories aside, it's a pretty fucking crazy story, man. Imagine if your house burned down and wormholes, the CIA, and death. Yes, death. Not the good kind either. The bad kind. The immortal, soul-damning kind. Either way, you look into it, sometimes you don't know people, sometimes you do know people, but at the same time, you try to, like, you know, dig through the ashes and figure out what the fuck is going on with the whole situation, because somebody needs to at least look at it in a veritable state of unquestionability, and then be able to ascertain, you know, where can we go from here? And sometimes, you know, you just gotta help your friends out and do that shit because, I mean, damn, son. You know, like, I've had a lot of death lately in my life, just like a lot of other people have, but, you know, sometimes when nobody comes and hangs out with you during that whole time, it's definitely a problem, right? Or if people on the internet pretend to be your friend and then, like, make up some interesting stories about what was happening, even though, you know, you've already been down there, you've seen the details, and it seems pretty cut and dry. I mean, unless somebody's directly, you know, trying to deceive you when they can't even leave the property that, you know, they had everything at, they lost. You know, it just doesn't add up, you know? Especially if people start saying a bunch of shit that just doesn't add up. So you just help those people, you go do good shit, and then you try not to get too wrapped up into the other insanities of it, because I mean, it could be its own conspiracy theory in its own. Anyways, just shout outs to the chats. Yes, shout outs to the chats. What's going on? We got Squigglesman Jr. in the chat. What's up, Squigglesman Jr.? I'm glad that you didn't go watch Battlestar Galactica. That's what I think BSG is. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I'm sorry. What's up, J.R. Riggs, number one guy in the Discord for dropping crazy, insane topical information about the future. Good man. You should like that man. Then we got Indigo Rina. Who the hell? Indigo Rina 982. Miss you long time. Well, hello. Welcome back. What's up, JV Guitar Works? Whatever happened to Eliza Blue? I don't know, man. I haven't really looked into that shit in a long time. We might have to look into that one of these days, but I don't think today's going to be the day for it. And then we got this ASDFXB person. What's going on? How's it going? We got Russell Dufresne. Hello, Mr. Russell Flame. What up? Long time. Haven't seen you around there a little bit. Hopefully you're feeling all right. I am too. Look, I got a new mic and it doesn't suck. Let's hope it stays that way, right? You know, like, fingers motherfucking crossed, bitches. Fingers motherfucking crossed. Anyways, yeah, there's just a lot of shit happening in the world. We've missed a lot of shit, right? Israel, Palestine. Yep, same old story. Don't really care about that. EBT apocalypse happened. And, honestly, I haven't seen a lot of people stealing shit myself. But then again, I don't really go to the store that often. So, I will report tomorrow after I go to the store if I have any money left. And then, we'll just have to kind of figure out how this whole thing actually rolls out, see how things shake out. It's going to be interesting, I think. Gonna be interesting. I know I put a bunch of shit in the title. Yeah, well, so there's a lot of shit happening. I think that's topical today. Like, maybe it's a red alert. Maybe it's a wake-up call. Maybe it's just the universe giving us battles that we could win or battles that we could lose. I guess it's up to us to really decide what we're gonna do with these fights that we have set before us. That's right. Sounds like Russell's doing good. We got this squiggle saying somebody said she blew up. Oh, yeah, dude. There's a lot of stuff. Woke is back in New York City. They got themselves a new mayor, and people are saying they're going to leave the city. We're going to talk about that. We got a UPS plane, I think it was. It was an airplane. It fucking exploded like a kaboom. There was a gigantic fireball. Crazy fucking shit. We're going to look at all those videos that I found and probably new ones that have popped up since I've even started thinking about doing this. And then, crypto kind of tanked big time. It did. And it seems to be caused by one dude or robot. Anyways, we'll get more into that later. And then, obviously, we're going to have to talk about the whole Miskif suing Emaru and a bunch of other fucking people over this whole bullshit that we talked about just the other day. So I feel like we got a couple of decent topics that we can really get into today. Something that at least feels a little bit topical. I mean, as it were. A little topical. Last time I checked, I heard that New York City had a new mayor. Right? This guy right here. Dude. What is happening? I don't know. The Jewish people in New York City are like literally rioting. I mean, I hope this guy cuts down the roof. I think that shit would be hilarious. But people are really fucking worried right now. People are really worried on multiple levels. But yes, Zoran Mamdani has won New York City mayor. Literally just almost by a landslide. I mean, I don't think there was a question that this guy was going to fucking win. But, like, there's a lot of people that are very afraid of this because, they see him as being an outsider. And it's like, oh, my God, we've let the Muslims take over. New York City has been lost. Maybe it's going to be like Escape from New York, that popular movie with our good man Snake Plissken. You know what? That would be shit. Needed that screw too. Well, just have to get another one. Anyways, yeah, I think this is a good situation, right? Could be good for New York City. Maybe everybody's just being real fucking crazy and it's not going to go as bad in the ways that they think it's going to go bad, but it's going to go horribly bad in so so many other ways that they didn't foresee. That's the way I think it's going to be. But, maybe it'll be good, right? Maybe he won't be a corrupt prick. But you know what? Maybe they'll have Sharia law in New York City within the next 4 years. That's something, right? That'd be a pretty good turnaround for that city, wouldn't it? Right? It was a little weird seeing Queen Farah talking about this one, and I don't even think that she was for this guy right here either, which is just weird sometimes.
Zoran Mamdani has been elected mayor of New York City,
bitches.
capping the Democrats' stunning ascent from little-known state lawmaker just a year ago to one of the most talked-about politicians in the country. Mamdani, a 34-year-old assembly member, defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa in Tuesday's election. With the victory...
Damn, he beat Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa. Spanked him.
The Democratic Socialist will etch his place in history as the city's first Muslim mayor, the first of South Asian heritage, and the first born in Africa.
That was probably
he will also become the city's youngest mayor in more than a century when he takes office
gold's
on January
down, silver's
1st.
Down, everything's down. Went into the store, everything's
Mamdani
fine.
is
That's
also
good,
the
Russell.
city's most liberal mayor in generations, sure to face scrutiny from
mayor
Republicans who have eagerly cast him as a
generations.
threat and the face of a more radical Democratic Party.
Woo! They call this man the face of a more radical Democratic Party. But you know what? AOC was there. She was fucking hanging out. She is super excited about the future of New York City, trying to see some change up in this motherfucker. And I mean, he won, right? I mean, that's what the people wanted. We got to respect the vote of the people, right? Like, honestly, I haven't really thrown a lot of shade on this dude. Obviously, I've made it pretty clear that I think it's a bad idea myself. But I mean, honestly, do you really want Grandma Killer Cuomo in the motherfucker? Not really. I don't think so. And Curtis Sliwa, I feel like I've met that dude before. But you know what? Actually, I would have respected him. Honestly, Bo Dietl should have ran for mayor again. He could have beat this schmuck. But obviously, he probably didn't have enough. He didn't have enough money that he needed to wash to get the whole situation afloat. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so New York City is up for a change, dude. This is it, dude. These are the three challengers, and he beat them handedly. Yeah, she does look cute in that photo, although she is experiencing early onset abuelism. I would have to say she definitely losing it pretty fast, if you know what I mean. And then what's up, Taco Mahooligan? Hello, welcome. Yeah, dude. Did Adams drop out? I don't know. I didn't even keep track of this motherfucking thing. There was a guy named Adams. I thought it was only these three fucking jokers. Wait, there was another guy, wasn't there? Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. It looks like it's all going to be up for democracy and Marlboro, but maybe everybody's just being ridiculous, right? Maybe this guy's going to be just chill as fuck, right? We could have had this beret wearing motherfucker right here. He seems like he'd be an all right guy, but he's more of the same, you know? New York City, that needs a little change, you know? We need to shake it up a little bit. We need to show these motherfuckers that, you know, shit needs to be changing. Maybe, I don't know. I've been in New York City before, but, you know, I don't know. I probably got to stay the fuck away myself, right? Like, I'm probably just a little bit good, but, you know, if you think about it, all the prediction markets were pretty clear that Mamdani was going to obliterate them, or at least obliterate Cuomo pretty handedly, and it seems like the predictions did come true, so maybe the technology is pretty good. So now there's a 34-year-old mayor of New York City. And, I mean, I don't think that they're going to be the worse off for it. Could it be that bad, really, dude? Like, honestly, I feel like people are being a little bit ridiculous. He's just the first Muslim mayor, okay? He's just a Democrat socialist, all right? It can't be bad for the biggest capital city, you know, the biggest city on the planet, the center of, you know, financial blah, blah, blah. Yeah, dude, this isn't going to be a problem at all, right, dude? What's he going to do? Fucking outlaw usury or some shit like that? Like, seriously, what is there going to be a terrorist attack? Like, come on. The balls you would need to try to pull that shit. Honestly. I mean, it could happen. We could be living a movie. It could be like the prequel to, Escape from New York, but I'm not sold on that because it had to be both places. You know what I'm saying? It'd have to be fucking both places. So it's just kind of what we have to talk about here. I think in actuality, there's probably a lot more that needs to be said in this whole situation. Cause did you think he was going to lose? And then even more so is what happens? How do the Democrats work in these types of situations? Being boots on the ground and 40,000 feet up. In my own experience, this is exactly how they started doing this kind of stuff. They took the mayoral races in key different districts around the country to show that there was some form of blue wave that was happening, and then they would just basically keep pushing that all the way into the midterms, and then all of a sudden all that power that the president used to have through years of inaction because the Democrats have been stonewalling, it makes it so that they can retake the House and get all these other Senate places. The only difference, I think, right now with what we're looking at is that there's more Islamic people. There's more people from Islamic countries in the United States, more and more. And we're seeing that they're voting their people in. And, I guess their people are our people if they're our people, but I could see how certain groups and subsects of the population could see that as being a problem. Right? Oh no, they're taking our jobs. Oh no, they're taking our country over by democratic force. They're using our own policies against us so they can enact their own policies that are even more terrible. I'd be worried. I'm worried. Are they going to have Sharia law in New York City? That's something I feel like people have been talking about for a while. Are you being a little pedantic with it when you fucking saying that shit? I feel like, but maybe not, dude. Maybe not, dog. Maybe not. Here's the one of the Fox News pundit girls that's super hot.
We are in uncharted waters with this
Democratic Party.
And I am not overstating this. It's a frightening prospect that as we sit here,
we're afraid of the Democratic Party again.
$2.3 trillion is the size of this economy, 9% of the entire American economy, bigger than the economy of Canada, just in this city, could be setting out on a grand social experiment of socialism that has demonstrably failed in the Soviet Union and beyond. But let's try it here.
Yeah,
in
baby,
10%
let's do
of the
socialism.
United States economy, putting aside the morality of the issue that I began with. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we should worry about that. That seems like a lot of money that we would be putting in the hands of this man. Right? Would you feel like that would be a lot of money? What are you worried about? What's he going to do? Outlaw taxes or some shit like that? Make it so that the city makes less money? If he's really a socialist and he's got all these crazy socialist ideas, you're going to see him doing a bunch of bullshit, right? We're going to see that shit. And if we don't see that shit and he's glad-handing motherfuckers and making backroom deals, well, then you fucking know. Right? We don't really know. Look at I just put New York City into the Twitter. Look at this. Get out of New York City. What do you got there? Give me your tired, your huddled mass, literally. Yeah. Frightening prospects, right? Okay. That's a little funny. I'm not gonna lie, but seriously, bro. New York City is officially dead. Let this be a lesson to the rest of America. All right, Rio Ben Luigi. Rip New York City, mate. Yep, dude. What is this, dude? New York City 2001. We will never forget. New York City 2025. We forgot. Mega voice. Okay. A Muslim man being mayor of New York City on the day Dick Cheney dies is Shakespeare still alive. Yeah, dude. You think he's going to kick out the Jews, J.R. Riggs? I don't think he's going to kick out the Jews. You can't kick the Jews out. That just doesn't work. I feel like they've tried it 109 times or something like that at least. But what I do think is that if you outlaw the practices, right, they have their Noahide laws and shit like that. I feel like if they're Muslim, in Muslim cultures, you're not allowed to charge interest on loans and stuff like that. So, like, that could be an interesting prospect for fucking everything out there if you really think about that, right? You're like, oh, well, if you, like, outlaw that type of interest, it would kind of, like, fuck the financial stock market. They could actually have some fucking crazy issues on down the road, but I mean, you would need a fucking $1 billion at least to even start fucking around like that. But I mean, you could wipe motherfuckers out like a heartbeat. Anyways, more on that later. So, New York City, they was already talking about there being issues with the ballots and how they were scammy because there was no idea required, or mayoral candidates appeared twice and Cuomo's name is last in the bottom right. And that's Elon Musk, 15 hours ago? Damn, Elon. Matt Walsh, the third world communist, won in New York because New York is a third world city now. This is a mass migration working exactly as intended. It isn't any more complicated than that. Yow. Wow. Really? You guys think it's a Muslim invasion? I mean, we already had there was a Polish invasion, there was a Mexican invasion, there was a black people invasion that was more or less slavery. There was a whole situation with all the Jewish people moving here. There was a situation with, insert race here that was moving here. But yes, currently there is a huge migration of Muslim people, and a lot of them seem to have congregated in New York City. So I guess it's just a testament to their overall plan to take over the world, right? We should be worried about it, though. Maybe. It's incredibly important to understand that Mamdani was not elected mayor of the historical American city that we know as New York because that city doesn't exist anymore. Due to intentional mass replacement immigration, New York City is now a third world metropolis wearing the Big Apple as a skin suit. Americans didn't elect Mamdani, foreigners did. And his election is not the beginning of the end for New York City. It's a death certificate. Finally, it's a reminder that everything right now is inescapably comes back to immigration. If we don't stop the mass migration, accelerate deportations, denaturalization, and re-immigration, this will happen over and over again until the United States is nothing more than a disparate conglomeration of Mumbamis, Mogadishus, and Mexico cities. Yeah. Who the fuck said that? Some dude says U.S. Census Bureau, American Resistance, and that's William E. Wolf. That's a little white flower, if you ask me. A white flower. And he overtweeted that on that one where they're like, yeah, he's projected to win. 2 hours ago, the mayor of New York City realized where we are. Zohar Mamdani. We don't need an investigation to know that the NYC is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety. What we need to do is defund the NYPD. Sure, yeah, let's just defund the most important police force that protects the most important city on the planet. That sounds like a great fucking idea. Yeah, we'll just start having Sharia policing everybody. That sounds like fantastic. Yeah. Sounds like everything's going to be really great for them, right? Zohar Mamdani will become the next president if you wake up in New York City tomorrow. What the fuck? Okay, fuck it up. Moving to Florida. Yep, it's officially won. Please join a moment of silence for New York City. RIP NYC. Cool blue. Back to the blue cool. What the fuck? Dude, people are like really fucking really mad. Which one would you guys like? You like this right here? Was it this one or was it this one? There's so much of a lag now that I can't even go back. What's this? Welcome to the new Mecca, formerly known as New York City. From ground zero to ground Sharia, these jihadists will rape your daughters and make 9/11 look like a dress rehearsal. What the fuck?
It's up to you, New York.
New I mean, goddamn, like, is it gonna happen that fast? Is it gonna be like London? Because I feel like, dude, if they start accelerating that pretty quick, we gotta worry about it. Yeah, we gotta worry about that. Yeah, we gotta worry about that, maybe. Maybe we should be worrying about it. I don't know, man. 26 billionaires spent $22 million to stop Sohan Babadami become the mayor of New York City, and he still won. He still won. Yep. Islam just conquered New York City, and the GOP still won't say Islam. While it captures our institutions, schools, our media, and our government, the so-called experts are still debating what to call it, how to address it, how to defend against it. Meanwhile, they tell us their plans, and no one is listening. They're not hiding it. They were clearing it. Yeah. How does that make you feel? Makes me feel pretty good, doesn't it? Does it make you feel pretty good? I feel all right about it. Not really, no. I don't feel all right about it at all. It definitely seems like a vexing situation because, as it were happening, right? We can harp on that shit all we want. It almost fits in with the next thing that we're even going to look at because there was an explosion today that almost seems a little strange. I mean, I've been watching videos that people have been putting it. But, this is it right here. UPS 2976 crashes after taking off from the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport.
¡Corre para atrás, papi! ¿Viste? Te lo estoy diciendo, Dios mío.
Dios mío.
¡Ay, Dios mío!
Pero qué pinga es. Vamos a ver,
Papi, cuidado.
Espérate.
¡Ay, Dios mío, señor!
Pinga,
Yeah, get the fuck out of there, son.
cojones.
¡Mira la cantidad de gente cogiendo candela, papi!
No, pinga.
Yeah. I remember the last time we were looking at stuff like this, it was in New York too. I don't know who took this video, but obviously they don't have a smartphone. But it seems like they were really close. Seems like they were really close, man. Here's another one. Heartbreaking CCTV footage captures a horrifying moment a UPS cargo plane 2976 plummets from the sky, crashing into a massive fireball in Louisville, Kentucky. The cargo jet erupted into flames upon impact, lighting up the night sky as debris scattered across nearby buildings. Probably the craziest one. Just wanted to slow that down there real quick. It's really hard to see. I'll make it real big. But yeah, you can kind of see the plane actually tipping out. And that's like fucking right there. That was like right there. Dog. Here's another one of a security cam where you see the plane coming over and then crashing right in front of it. This dude looks like he's in a truck of some kind with the real security camera. But you can see that shit end over end just exploding. And the thing is that there's a lot of motherfucking gas in a plane that is taking off. That's probably like the most explosive time that it has. Because you got to think that the fuselage of the aircraft is the actual gas tank. So if you lose a wing or something like that, that thing's full of fucking fuel. I mean, you're going to get a fire, motherfucker. You're going to get a fire. Fire. That's probably like the closest one that I've seen just yet. Like, I mean, you can literally see the fucking plane right there and it's taking out the buildings that are right there. Yeah, like a flaming fucking shark fin. Flaming shark fin. And this is with them talking about the moment of the crash. Taking off from Louisville. Taxi in the runway. Takes off and then bam, right into the building. Didn't even make it out. Didn't even make it out. Here's another one. This is when it's actually taken off. You can see that its left wing is totally on fucking fire. Like, there's no doubt that sucker is on fire right there. If we just pause it right there, you can see it on fire. Gotta wonder what the fuck is going on. You know, is this exactly what we thought was going to be happening? Is this really what was going on? Because like, I did not actually expect any of that to be happening, to be honest with you. You know, J.R. Riggs posted this in the Discord. Lots of tankers and aircraft controls over the United States tonight. Bombers don't track. Wonder what it's part of the culmination of STRATCOM exercises. Global Thunder tonight and early morning has scheduled Minuteman 3 ICBM launches. That doesn't sound... That sounds nice. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I think this is the first video I saw of it.
Bro, get the fuck away from me.
You can definitely see that shit is on fire, bro. I'm pretty sure that's on fire. I'm pretty sure he should have stopped that motherfucker. Although you can't really stop when you take it off.
Holy shit.
Then you just crash early.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Damn, they're dead. They are dead, bro.
Yeah, they are dead, for sure. Hey, man, if you survive that, you're either indestructible or you're the first superhero. I don't know. Damn, son.
Okay, just hold on.
Yeah, everybody just calm down. Everything will be just fine. If you gotta take a flight, still take your flight. Everything gonna be fine. Everything gonna be okay, man. Yeah, man. Gonna be fine. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be fine, dog. Kinda seems a little up, if you ask me. Yeah. That's terrifying. I mean, if you don't find that objectively terrifying, I mean, thank fuck it was a UPS plane, so hopefully there wasn't a bunch of people on that thing. Like, hopefully it was just packages and shit. You know, sorry, you're not gonna get your fucking tentacle dildo this weekend, my dear. The plane exploded, but seriously, this is like, you know, a lot of things are happening, right? Dick Cheney dies, all of a sudden planes are exploding. We got this new Mamdani guy that's the mayor of New York City. Election polling places allegedly were being swatted. Like, yeah, it just kind of feels not manufactured, but like there's something more going on. And, you know, maybe unrelated, but, you know, United Airlines 512 was isolated at Reagan National Airport after a large emergency presence was seen available. The ATC says that they had an unconfirmed bomb report and they had to get him away from the airport, right? And crews have dispersed and all that other shit already, and they called off the threat, but, you know, many things are happening all of a sudden that seem not interconnected, but feel connected somehow, as it were. You almost don't even get what's happening with it, or if it's even a problem until you actually see what's going on with it. I don't know, though, man. I think that there is definitely something going on. There's something in the water. There's somebody out there that is, I guess, in actuality, changing the way that things are being out there for these people. But you gotta realize, like, what the fuck, dude? What the hell? Explosions? Like multiple reports of planes, people calling in stuff, fucking plane exploding. We apparently have we apparently have war game operations that are happening right now, and everybody's supposed to just chill the fuck out and everything's gonna be cool. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there should be a lot more to this particular situation, if you ask me. Like videos from all of these crashes. We're just looking at a bunch of videos from these crashes, and then we're seeing what's happening in New York City. I mean, how does that even come into interconnection with what else we've been going at? Right? Like, everybody's been really worried about that. You think that thing was going to Hawaii? Oh, yeah, that plane was going to Hawaii? Taking packages to Hawaii? Sorry, everybody in Hawaii, you're not going to get all your lobsters and shit or whatever you guys order from Amazon or USPS. That shit happens sometimes, and you got to deal with it, right? You got to deal with it. Think about this. And I mean, a lot of people in the crypto world have been really upset with what's been happening in the crypto world. It seems like, I don't know, there was some pretty big drops or whatever, like crypto market going to crash. People are saying it's going to go down to 40,000, 30,000 or some shit like that. Like, everybody is just kind of fucking worried right now. And they thought that it was going up and it was going to keep going up, but a shit ton of people got wiped out today, apparently, based on my investigations. Somebody was cashing out a shitload of Bitcoin today that basically put the market into a free fall. And I mean, maybe that's what was happening, but I feel like it's a little more involved than that, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, it honestly feels like there's a lot more to that story that's going to meet the eye, because I saw some people talking about this on the Yahoo Finance, where they talked about how this actually seems to have been caused by almost one person, or at least what would be considered to be one person. A Satoshi era whale cashed out $1 billion after 14 years. 14 years of holding Bitcoin, cashing out $1 billion fucking dollars. And now people are calling October Downtober, because the crypto market declined from north of 126,000 to as low as 105,000 and probably lower. Yep. And it all seems that it's because, well, somebody that had, I guess, purchased 10,000 BTC for $1.54 each and sold them for $1 billion on October 4th, making them a rich ass motherfucker. And I mean, it could have been some like whale, or it could have been like some fucking rogue AI that's like, trying to build itself now, some shit. I don't think that we're ever going to know. What I do know is that $1 billion fucking dollars in one day, 10,000 Bitcoin definitely made the market move and liquidated a shitload of positions that people had open. And I mean, it was a pretty big reckoning for a lot of folks out there. Here's the guy that was actually talking about this shit. But Ted Pillows is also kind of a shit poster when you really look at it. So not a lot of people have a lot of trust or respect in the things that the guy says. But it's at least interesting to note, some greedy fucks, just fucking cashing all that shit out for nothing, just completely crushing the market. Why not, dude? Seems pretty nice, right? Poor all these people that are putting all their money into crypto and then posting the funniest shit when this shit gets liquidated. Like, come on, guys, it happens every so often. It's almost like a thing now, but what's really interesting about all of this is that some shit poster on 4chan actually 2 years ago seems to have predicted the all-time high or the top of Bitcoin. And and all of a sudden it just started dumping hard. Yeah, what does it say right here? It says ATL 2015 to 2017. And then it goes What? The pattern would print this cycle ZTAth on the 6th of October 2025. People who want to believe otherwise, the simulation will repeat itself. Oh, so some guy actually mapped it out. And then he called it. And he called it to the exact day. I mean, think about that. And then almost within 2 years of that post, motherfuckers actually predicting a pretty significant drop, right? And it all seems to be associated with one person cashing out a shitload of Bitcoin, which normally shouldn't affect a currency like that, but in actuality, yeah, it does, right? Because it's not exactly the big bastion that everybody thought it would be. And I'm sure it'll probably recover and go much higher, but just think of how much money you could have made if you were onto that shit 14 years ago or not a dumbass. You could be a bazillionaire by now. And since it's algorithmic, like Squiggles McJr. says, it's only a matter of time before the cycle repeats itself. You just got to figure out the pattern to do it. And right now, with everything else that seems to be happening in the world with the wars and such, and people not getting their EBT funds because we still haven't reopened the government or some shit. Yeah, real seems like we're really diving into some, I don't know, unsafe territories, but that's okay. The whitehouse.gov has launched a new website for you. It's called whitehouse.gov/mysafespace, and it's there you go. It says My Safe Space, a place for the Dems. This is petty. I like it. This is my kind of petty. What is this? The Democrats shut it down. Male, 55-year-old, Brooklyn. Last working day, 1/2/2025. Mood difficult. Hakeem Jeffries shut down. Blog entry number 1, number 2, number 3. Here are the Democrats in the House and Senate. We love DEI, transgender for everyone, and handing out taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. We couldn't care less if our men and women in uniform get paid or if our neighborhoods are safe. We just love playing politics with people's livelihoods. Heroes, anyone that identifies as a radical leftist, transnational gang, or illegal immigrant. Who I'd like to meet. Honestly, we couldn't meet enough members of Antifa or illegal immigrants. They're just so awesome. Nicknames, Sombrero Guy, Timu Obama, Dollar Store Obama, Chuck E. Cheese Obama. Okay. What is this? What I've done? Lincoln Park? Wow. What is this? MySpace Euro government shutdown clock? Well, there's a clock too. Democrats have shut down the government for this long. Fucking bitches. Wow. I feel like this is a little petty, dude. What is this? Hakeem has 8 top friends. Joe Biden, Fentanyl girl, Fenty girl, Antifa, Soros, Chucky, real Chucky, Maryland dad, tampon tit. That's on the fucking White House, guys. That's on the White House website, the real white one. That's not a troll. It's not fake. That's on the White House's website, right there. Mood difficult. There's the pics right there, dude. There's Hakeem. There's Chucky. I mean, it's all here, son.
He did the monster.
He did the monster mash. He did the mash. Yeah, graveyard smash. Really, you just gotta wonder, like, what's really happening in the world today, whether that's the White House. But you know what? This is the timeline that we live in. We all just gotta deal with it, and we gotta look at the bigger picture, right? already happening. Y'all talk about all that shit about the Democrats, and you didn't think that we were going to bounce back, but here's them bouncing back right there. There have been 3 ameliorations for New York City, New Jersey, and Virginia, and guess what? What happened? What happened for each of those elections? Well, what did it happen? Oh, the fucking Democrats won. Landslide. Maybe not landslide, but pretty handedly in almost every single one of those situations. I mean, look at that. If Kurasiwa wasn't in the game, there was a chance that Andrew Cuomo could have won. But even then, the chance did not prevail. Now we got to deal with all this shit, folks. That's how they do it. They start off by taking the local races, build groundswell by changing the government, talking about change, and then all of a sudden, what do you know? It's Sharia law. Sharia law for you, for me, for everybody. Yeah, I think. Things are happening, guys. There's definitely a weird shift in There's a weird shift. People that were Democrats, that were Republicans, are becoming Democrats again. And the Democrats are getting even weirder and crazier, more radical. And at the same time, there's an implosion happening within the Republican Party over the Israel question, to the point where everybody's talking about Nicholas Fuentes again. And now, I think it's for 2 days now, the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro have just been on the attack. On the attack, dude. Defending their right to exist, apparently.
My answer is no. No to the Groypers. No to their publicists like Tucker Carlson. No to those who champion them. No to demoralization. No to bigotry and anti-meritocratic horse shit. No to anti-Americanism. No. This is our country. This is our party. And this is our conservative movement. And I will not stand by while it is handed over to those who betray the most fundamental principles I have spent my entire life defending and advocating. That is a path to defeat and a path to moral oblivion. I reject it because if we lose the right, we will lose to the left. And either way, we'll lose the country. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show. Yeah. Okay. I guess there's something to that. But, maybe some people are just in panic mode. All of a sudden Tucker Carlson interviews Nick Fuentes and, well, the empire of the Zog seems to be under its attack yet again. But when you really start looking at the numbers, like to like, dislike to dislike, view to view, you can see pretty clearly whose voices are the ones that are being heard, right? And then you can see how basically a whole group of individuals have started turning to the attack both of these guys, where literally one guy said that the other guy was gay, and they both thought each other were feds. So, I mean, is there sense that could be made from it? But at the same time, you could just look at it and think that, yeah, these people are probably in full panic mode at the particular point in time because the psychological operations and conditionings are just simply not working anymore, right? You can only pretend to be a part of the conservative movement for a certain period of time before the conservative movement either outpaces you or becomes morphed into something that a lot of other people don't think it is either. It's because we have all of these Israel first Republicans that pretend to be MAGA, right? They pretend to be making America great again, but really they're one-track voters like Ben Shapiro and any of the people that are basically parroting any of the stuff that he's saying. I feel like there's the cracks that are breaking. Right? There's something that's going to be happening. Yeah. There's something that's going to be happening. Yeah. There's something that's going to be happening in this particular situation, but what? I don't know. We just got to look at how a lot of the people that are here and talking about it, like I even saw that Brett Cooper. She used to be in the Daily Wire, but this is what she's saying now.
You are so blinded by your ridiculous, insane hatred of Tucker Carlson that you cannot see how irresponsible and hypocritical you are being. I mean, these tweets from Ted Cruz, I'm going to read you next, are a great example of this. So just a month ago, he tweeted this. He said, "They don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so they can kill you. Political violence is a left-wing phenomenon. Enough is enough. We need to shut it down." And then in response to Fuentes and Tucker this week, he tweeted this. "Trump's bombing of the Ayatollah's nuclear facilities made the little Nazi mad. Good." So now you're turning around and you're calling somebody that you don't like a Nazi. You're doing this out of blind rage because you're so angry that the conservative base's attitudes are rapidly changing, that Nick Fuentes is getting national attention, and so you have turned around and in response, you are compromising your own values in anger, which is such a dangerous precedent to set. And unfortunately for you guys, yes, the attitudes are changing, so again, it makes sense why this group is incredibly frantic. You are so blinded by...
Yeah. So blinded by the hatred. The hatred of what, you ask? I don't know. America, freedom, Jesus, anything else? Like, because I think people keep noticing it. You know, it's weird when you hear somebody like Brett Cooper, who allegedly used to be a tool of the Zog and possibly could still be a tool of the Zog.
But this whole thing is also just frankly comical. Like, I mean, a room of 200 people coming together to shit on a podcaster. Like, this is not serious behavior. But again, who is surprised when it comes to these characters? Like Randy Fine, if you don't know who he is, he's a representative from Florida. He's the same guy who bragged about not washing his hands after he had a handshake with Netanyahu. He's repeatedly introduced bills to criminalize anti-Semitism, infringing upon free speech. I mean, he obviously, I'm sorry to say, but he obviously cares more about Israel than he does, you know, principles like free speech. So, buddy, like, my advice to you, Randy Fine, is just move to Israel at this point. Like, considering you had to go through anger management classes a few years ago, I genuinely think you would probably be happier if you just moved to Israel. And that's not a dig at him. That's just a fact. It's a nudge of encouragement. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be healthy. I think you would be happier if you just moved to Israel. You could be over there singing songs with Mike Huckabee. But this whole thing is all...
Yeah. Just go back to Israel. Yeah, I don't think it's so easy. I mean, I wish it was, but I just don't think that that's the way that it's going to work. Because, you know, as it were, some people that are in Israel right now that aren't the Israelis don't want them there, but at the same time, the Israelis don't want anybody else there either, including Christians, which is why they bombed the only Christian church in Gaza. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to just look at all these particular pieces of content and trying to realize, like, what's happening. Dude, is it a happy day for them?
Well, it's a big catastrophe, and I'm Israeli, and I hope that now people understand what we have to deal with, the kind of people that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It's just a catastrophe. Well,
I'm just so happy that people have to realize what kind of people we got to deal with on a daily basis. Yeah, what kind of people are those? Human beings. We've been dealing with human beings for a long, long time, my friend. It ain't gonna be anything different. It ain't gonna change. But you know what? They would have us know that it has changed. It is going to change. The race is over. Islam has won. New York City, the Big Apple, the city of hope and dreams. And now it's going to be apparently a port once again for the huddled masses of people trying to escape the Middle East. Is it really what we thought was going to be happening? I feel like it's going to be a lot different as we're moving forward, but I mean, it's not like things are getting any better. The more I go look at Google News, right, the more that I keep seeing that, well, things aren't getting better, dude. Wow, 7 people dead, 11 injured in that UPS plane crash. Holy shit, that's a lot of people. I didn't even know that. That was 46 minutes ago. Wow. Well, 46. Yeah, injured 11 people and killed 7 people in the crash that we were looking at earlier. Departing for Honolulu from Louisville, Muhammad Ali International. And you know what? Think about that. Islam even got Muhammad Ali, dog. Well, like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Apparently. But I guess that's really, it is what it is, right? For all this other stuff. But I figured we could get into the last little bit of what I wanted to talk about today, which is, more of an extension of a stream that we did a couple of days ago. So, a couple of days ago, some popular streamers decided to have a new tit for tat going on, and all of a sudden, once again, we got news in the situation. We got news in the situation. As it just so happens, good old Miskif decided that, you know what, fuck it. They're trying to ruin my life and ruin everything about me. They've taken everything from me. I'm gonna sue. And yes, in the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas, Austin Division, good old Miskif decided to sue Emeru and that Asmon Gold character, OTK Media, Mythic Talent Management, and King Gaming Labs for all kinds of shit. Because, shit happened, bro. Shit happened, dude. People are getting served, dog. People are getting sued. Which I called, right? I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of stupid law tubers out there that are going to be going one way. But the fact that motherfucker already got somebody to take the case and has already filed paperwork speaks volumes for where he's deciding to go with this particular situation. So now here we are once again. Like I said, the top Twitch streamers are going to basically go harikari on each other. They're just going to basically go to each other's throats. And, people are going to say a bunch of dumb shit like, oh yeah, dude, fucking Discovery's gonna be lit. Miskif's gonna lose his ass. All of that aside, he's the only one that actually got some paper. I just want to point that out. What I was pointing out before, when Emeru came forward and said all those things, and then they locked the dude out of his company and basically fired him without even knowing it, took away all of his shares, and basically tag team smear campaigned him in public without ever filing a police report or have even served him with the lawsuit or anything of that nature. Yeah. And now if they actually tried to hit him with any of that type of stuff, it wouldn't really work, now would it? Yeah, dude. It almost seems like these people are fucking stupid. But the tail of the tape, one of the biggest names on Twitch is taking legal actions against two high-profile streamers and several gaming company. Matthew Renildo, known to millions as Miskif, has filed a lawsuit in federal court, mind you, against Emily Beth Shunk, online known as Emeru, Zach Hoyt, online known as Asmongold, and three companies, OTK Media, Mythic Talent Management, and King Gaming Labs Incorporated. According to the complaint, most parties involved are based in the Austin area. KXAN reached out to the defendants involved in the complaint and will update the stories to hear back. The lawsuit stems from allegations made by Skunk during an October 24th live stream where she accused Ronaldo of psychological and domestic abuse, stalking, harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail. The filings further allege that Hoyt repeatedly called Ronaldo an aggressor and abuser during his own live streams, amplifying the accusations to millions of viewers. Ronaldo claims these statements are false and have caused significant harm to his reputation and career. Shortly after the live stream, OTK Media, co-founded by Ronaldo, sent him a termination letter citing the nature of the Emeru allegations and announcing it was reclaiming more than 1 million shares of company stock without compensation, which I think might be illegal. The complaint asserts that no contractual breaches occurred. Mythic Talent and Game Gaming also claimed breaches and demanded Ronaldo owed them more than $600,000 for Mythic management fees. Ronaldo is seeking damages for reputational harm, lost earnings, emotional distress, and the exact amount of monetary damages has not been disclosed. Yeah, I haven't actually seen, any movement from this particular thing. We haven't seen the full text of the lawsuit. I can't wait to actually get my hands on that bad boy, but as it was the last time, I haven't seen anybody actually posting it. But I'd have to say some of the most smug dipshit in gaming is gonna get his ass probably handed to him. Like, I've been waiting for Asmon Gold to actually have to, I don't know, take on a real life situation. So now he's going to have to get a lawyer, take care of this situation. He doesn't have to do anything else, but he does have to fight the case, right? But right now, what the case is stemming on is what they're saying is basically hearsay and defamation. They don't have any paperwork or anything that confirm or deny the story that she had told. And that was essentially the problem in the first place, because she didn't even get a restraining order on the guy, hadn't seen a judge about anything, hasn't even filed a police report about any of the alleged abuse, but had no problem coming forward and making all of those claims. So, like, I don't see how people, well, I see how people are always going to take it. They're going to be obviously siding with them, being like, oh, he abused her and they came after her, and look, now she's suing him like she called it, like, oh my god. And yeah, J.R. Riggs, you're totally right. They're probably going to settle. Like, he's probably going to have to settle and retract his statements. And her, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, we've already seen exactly how neurotic and ridiculous this Miskif guy is, but you got to realize is that this is a streaming career, and those two characters assassinated his ass into the ground, right? Like, they basically poisoned him from the community for all time, and they just thought they were going to get away with it. But Imaru, she doesn't have any evidence of anything. I mean, essentially, we're looking at the situation that Donald Trump had with the lady that alleged that she got assaulted and alleged, but it was outside of the statute of limitations and a whole bunch of other things. But we still haven't seen any fucking paperwork. Right, and the only person that's done any legalese, has followed any of the proper channels in any of this situation has been Miskif. So, he's actually in a pretty good position right now. I'm sure some LawTube lawyers are going to pretend for clicks and eyeballs that, Emaru and Asmon Gold have some kind of case against this right now. But as it stands, they really don't. Everything that they've done since the information came out on October 24th has been basically the wrong move in every way that counts, and almost every way that doesn't count. Actually, they won a small win in the court of public opinions, but honestly, any of this stuff seems like it's gonna be there. Like Matthew Ronaldo, Emily Beth Skunk, Zach Hoyt, right? Miskif Enterprises is a limited liability LLC, and Ronaldo is the sole member of Miskif Enterprises. I wish we had actually more from this so that we could actually see what the details are associated to it, what he's actually seeking damages for besides reputational harm, lost earnings, emotional distress. But I mean, it's pretty clear, without any type of restraining order, any type of police report or anything, these are just unfounded allegations in the court of law. You know what I mean? And it goes right back into, you're going to have people telling you that they're going to be able to beat this and fight this no problem, that know nothing about the law or even know about the law and just want your clicks and eyeballs. But I'm going to be the first guy to say that, it'll be interesting to see how Asmon Gold figures out how he's going to fight this one, because I mean, as a third party right now, we just see, a business partner making all of these claims, but like, where's all the fucking evidence, dude? right? Oh, well, it's just like hearsay. It's he said, she said type stuff. Well, that's just not how the court's going to work. And you're never going to make it to actual fucking discovery without somebody limiting the scope of it severely to the point where, you know, any of the juicy stuff that you thought you were going to get's never going to appear. And even then, unless they got actual videos that they were sharing back and forth or pictures or anything of that nature that supports or substantiates the arguments, it's going to be pretty clear, right? You know, like, and now her trying to file any type of restraining order, protection order, or any of that stuff is really just going to kind of fall on its face, right? You know, the judge can order a no contact order, sure, but like as it is right now, it was basically defamation, character assassination, reputational harm, and it almost seems like he'd be able to actually show the lost earnings because, you know, you're a top streamer. You can see how much money you were making and you can see how much you lost. And on top of that, we at least have one number of 600,000 that tells us that, you know, it's going to be at least that amount, but it's probably going to be for a lot more. Yeah, it'll probably be for a lot more. Who's going to settle? I don't know. You think Emeru's going to settle? I don't see it happening, but at the same time, I don't see her or Asmod being smart enough or apt enough or being able to hire a good enough lawyer in a certain amount of time to actually do anything for themselves in this situation. Because anybody worth their salt has already gone through all of this, right? Has already gone through all of this. Because at the end of the day, it always goes back to that one little thing. You know, the fucking police, right? That's what it's supposed to be, right? Everyone that I've seen posting any of this stuff been crazy. But then again, this is your boy. Power slap competition. But then again, that's the guy that, you know, we're talking about right here. And you would love to see him go down and stay down, but like there's just been so many miscalculated moves on the part of the individuals in question before they even had a case to begin with. You know, they just decided to go to the case of public opinions because they knew that they really didn't have anything else. And like, this is classic shit that we used to see back in the day on the internet where people would basically try to manipulate their followers to fight their battles for them, which is essentially kind of what we're seeing in this particular situation, which is a little funny, right? I would have expected more out of the situation, to be frank, but you know what? This is where we are now. This is the situation we live in now. We're suing each other, big streamers, using their interpersonal drama and taking it to the point where people are actually suing each other because, well, we commit crimes and we're not looking at our actions. And these guys are supposed to be managed by talent agencies and shit like that. Like, where's your fucking publicist on this one? Right? Do you have a publicist? Because, like, I feel like your publicist would have told you to not fucking do any of that shit, but then again, probably not. That's not how that shit usually works these days, I don't think. I don't know. No, it doesn't. That's not how it works. But with that, I think I'm pretty much it. That's it. That's it for today. You know, I figured I'd come in. We talk about planes exploding. We talk about New York City falling to Islam. We could talk about Miskif coming back on the back attack, suing some motherfuckers. And, I mean, seriously, who's the bad guy in all of this situation? Not me. I'm just trying to tell you what the fuck's going on in the news today. And literally, things be going pretty crazy. But with that, I guess I'm just going to have to leave you guys for today. So I appreciate y'all coming on through for at least a little bit of time for us today. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow if there's some more interesting things that are happening on the internet. But either way, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. share this with your friends, and I appreciate y'all checking us out for a little bit of time today. See you later. Be well, my friends, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye now. See you later. Be happy. Or not. I mean, it's kind of up to you. You guys just do whatever you want. And I'll just be here wondering what the future holds. And brushing up on my Islam. Or wait, is Islam a language? Do I have to... Wait, Arabic. I probably should learn Arabic. Is there like a certain kind of Arabic? Should I learn Farsi? I don't know. Maybe you should just try to learn all of them just in case. You know, you just never know who's going to be your overlord. Still got to learn that Farsi or Arabic. Still got to learn that fucking Jewish language. What is that shit? Hebrew? So Hebrew? Yiddish? Skittish? I don't know. Much